everybody, Bonnie here. Hope you guys are doing good today. I finished the project from this Zoomigurumi Favorites. If you're new here, hello, and if you are coming back to see what else I'm up to, hi. Yeah, so I'm making every single pattern in here. There are 30 and I'm doing 2 of each, one in regular colors, one in kind of crazy colors, and I definitely did a crazy colored one this time. So what I finished is Angie the Anglerfish. That is a pattern by Sun Dot Attack. I decided to do the purple just like the book because I liked it, and I mean a lot of the pictures that I was seeing of actual anglerfish were really dark gray or black, and I didn't really want to be working with that color yarn because it's really hard especially with all of the pieces that this anglerfish has. Let me grab it. I just want to say real quick, if you do hear some weird noises, I do have the windows open and there's some like crashing noises going on outside. I don't know what the neighbors are doing, but anyway, so if you hear anything, it's just lovely outside noise. It's finally cooled off a little bit here. It's in the 70s instead of the 80s. Ugh, it was horrible in the 80s. But anyway, Angie the Anglerfish. There she is. Now this took quite a while. It took longer than I thought. You have to sew every single piece. You have to sew the lip down, even though like you crochet it in, you still have to sew it folded over. You do crochet the jaw or the mouth a little bit, but then you are sewing up the sides and you sew on the teeth and just everything. It's a lot of sewing. It's a really good pattern though. The instructions are good and I didn't have any problems at all. Inside of this is a pipe cleaner and I think it works pretty well. The second one I made, I didn't stuff this as much because this is kind of heavy and it's weighing down the pipe cleaner a little bit. And also this is closer to the fin than it shows in the pattern because I was crocheting so tight. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. I used a 3.5, which is what the pattern suggests, I think. The light purple is Lion Brand Pound of Love and Lilac, and then the purple is Loops and Threads Purple, I believe it's called. I don't think it's anything fancy. The safety eyes are about a 15, and then just regular white yarn. I am happy with this. It's kind of cute, even though it's kind of ugly, you know, it's ugly cute. I did stuff the jaw just a little bit because it doesn't call for you to do that. And when you put the piece on, it's kind of, I don't know, like loose or bumpy. Like you can tell that it's not stuffed. So I just took a little bit of polyfill and I made like the size of a cookie and I flattened it and then I just put it in there, sewed this up, and then I hot glued right behind the teeth to make the mouth closed. The pattern does not tell you to actually sew or close the mouth at all, but I didn't make the inside of the mouth pretty, like there are like a lot of ends and stuff, and since I stuffed it, I wanted the mouth closed. But you could totally make this where the mouth opens, and wouldn't that be a fun toy? You could just put little things in the mouth, make little small fish for this guy to eat. So yeah, this is the first one that I made. And the second one that I made, oh my goodness, I finished it last night. This guy looks crazy. Here's the second one. A little size comparison. Definitely bigger. Yeah. This one I used a 3.75 hook for. And so it was only like, you know, like not that much of a difference in hook size, but my tension, I made sure to have looser tension because I didn't want it to end up super tight like this one did. So the top, I forget what this is called, is right where it's supposed to be. It is sitting further back. Same thing, I did stuff the jaw, and then I hot glued the mouth closed. The yarn that I used for this is this one, the main body, and all the fins are Red Hearts neon stripes, and then the orange, this orange right here, and the orange around the eyes is Loops and Threads Safety Orange. This is Red Heart Super Saver Bright Stripes. This was, like you can tell, it is kind of bright. It almost looks like it's glowing. But it had a nice neon-y, yellowy green in the bright stripes compared with the neon stripes it just had green. And the yellow, that I used for the other one, I didn't even tell you guys, that's just yellow. Mainstays, I think. Yeah, this was Mainstays yellow for the bulb. It didn't look right, the color, it's kind of hard to tell, but that yellow just didn't go with the bright neon colors. So yeah, oh, one thing I forgot to mention, the teeth. Let's move that thing out of the way. These two teeth are just a little bit bigger because when you're doing the pattern, the second tooth calls for an extra double crochet, but then when you are crocheting the rest of the teeth, they're like all smaller. So I gave tooth number 5 an extra double crochet, so that tooth number 2 and tooth number 5 are just a little bit longer. Like, you can barely tell, but I think it looks good. It kind of gives it like the fang scary look. I have 2 regular size pipe cleaners in this, and I twisted them together, so it's a little more, it holds a little bit better. It's not quite as loose. If I make this again, I might get some of the craft wire that's on the thicker side, just to give it a little bit more support, but I think that works. Yeah, the pattern with the other one, it's got the dark purple fins and the light purple body. I just went with the same body yarn color, and that's just how it happened to work up. I was gonna do the safety orange for all of the fins, but that was just too much, like way too much. So I just decided to go with the neon stripes, and I'm pretty happy with this guy. The only thing I'm going to ask you guys, and I want you to tell me if I'm being way too picky or I don't know, but this looks like an eyeball to me, and to me it looks crooked. It's not though, because the magic ring you start with is actually in the center, but just the way the yarn worked up, it's like off to the side. So I do have another piece right here. This was actually the first jaw that I was making, and then I'm like, I can't have a huge purple thing on its chin. So I thought it would be better with the black, but I wish I wouldn't have. So this is the actual jaw piece, and I did also stuff this one. But does that look better if I were to sew that on? I mean, it would make, let me see if I can, it would make it a little bit thicker. I would cover up like the pink here so you couldn't tell, but it would have like a thicker jawline with the black yarn. What do you think? Do you think this looks good, or should I sew this patch on here and then it would look like that? What do you think? I don't know, I'm undecided. Like I said, I finished this last night and I didn't want to sew this on if I was going to regret it, so I left it till the morning, and I don't know now. But I'm pretty happy with these guys. It's really fun making the Zoomigurumi patterns. I cannot wait to pick the next one, which will be at the end of this video. I'll put a little clip on of the next animal that I'll be crocheting 2 of. I'm pretty excited. I hope it's a little bit simpler, like with not as many pieces. There were a lot of pieces with this thing, a lot of the details, so, but it's still a good pattern. I would make this again. I might make this again, I don't know. If I do use the neon stripe yarn for any more amigurumi, I am going to totally color control and cut up the skein of yarn. Like, I don't care how I have to cut it up to get some even stripes, especially if I'm working in the round. I should have just did a couple, like one round of the black and one round of the green, and then, oh well, I mean, am I being silly? Do I just notice it because it's me? I don't know. Yeah, I do have a few other things to show you that I finished. I am making Jada and Stitch's latest calendar blanket, which is the Granny's Magical Cupboard. And this is the square for July. This is the spiked granny. It was really fun to make. These colors though, I'm a fan of color, and I thought that they would be, I don't know, it didn't turn out how I thought. This reminds me of like elementary school or something. with changing colors every single row. There were a lot of ends to weave in. So for my other squares, I did something a little bit different. This one's made with a 5.5 and it's 6 rounds. It's just like she does in her tutorial, which I will link down below. And this is going to go, maybe a scarf or something with all the other squares from the rest of the months of the year. And then I'm doing some more squares that are double in size. This is 12 rounds of the same pattern. It's kind of like a fourth of the size, but this yellow and white one, I go down a hook size or 2 or quite a few to a 3.75 because I don't want my blanket to be really holey. I'm using all loops and threads yarn, just regular colors. I think the light yellow from the square I just showed you is butter, and then this yellow is, or is it the same yellow? It might be the same yellow. Let me see. Is it the same? Let me see, is it the same? It is the same, it just looks different because of the white and then the reds and blues against it. But the yellow is butter, and then the white is obviously just white from loops and threads, and because I want the blanket to be made all out of the same kind of yarn, so it'll go together nicely. I have not blocked these, you can tell they're a little bit wavy, and I carried the yarn. I didn't cut it off. That would have been a mess, like all of those ends with every other row. So on the back, you can't really tell just because of the way the pattern is. And the only way I can tell which side is right side up is with the granny shells, because otherwise it kind of looks the same. Let me see if I can find where I carried. Yeah, this is the corner. Whew, can't really, there we go. This is the corner where I carried the yarn, and you can't really see it a lot. So I was happy that that worked out. I made this one, and then I thought, you know, that looks like lemon meringue. It's from the Strawberry Shortcake. The character lemon meringue, it's her colors. And so I decided I need to make a blueberry muffin one. So here's my blueberry muffin. This one is blue, loops and threads, and the white. Again, I carried the yarn. Can't really tell which corner I carried it in. These are really soft. It's got some like bounce to it. It almost reminds me of a small bobble stitch kind of. And it's super, super easy. Like, it's really easy. So I made this one, and then since I had lemon meringue and blueberry muffin, I needed strawberry shortcake, right? I was running out of white yarn, so I did rose and red, same loops and threads yarn. This one can also be, reminds me of Raspberry Tart, who's the pink character in Strawberry Shortcake, so I just love Strawberry Shortcake. And so yeah, those are my 3 big squares, which are gonna go in probably one big blanket, maybe a couple of different blankets, I don't know. They're 12 rounds each, and we'll see what happens at the end of the year with how these squares are going to be put together. I really don't know. I am also making another blanket besides like all crazy colored one in greens and like off-whites. My sister had gifted me a bunch of yarn. It was vintage yarn that she got at like garage sales and stuff, and so I don't know the exact color or brand, but this is off-white and a green vintage yarn, which I think looks pretty good. And there is a character called Lime Chiffon, so I guess she's green. I guess that could count for her. but since I did 3 colors and then I did 2 colors, I just wanted to work up a solid colored one because Jada in her video had said that it makes a really nice texture. So that's what I did for this one. This one is just regular green vintage yarn, and I do really like how it worked up. And it was super, super fast because I wasn't changing colors at all. So this is a pretty quick pattern. I was making this in between making the anglerfish because I just needed a break from like tiny stitches and details. I just wanted to crochet for the sake of crocheting, so I did that. Yeah, I've been pretty busy. I'm still working on some other projects. I can't really show you yet because I haven't given them to who they belong to, but as soon as I do, I'll show you those projects. I made some snakes also, but they need eyes, so maybe I will get that, get those eyes on there, I guess. No, no pun intended. Anyway, I can't wait to pick the next Zoomigurumi character, so let's go do that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be seeing you soon. Okay, so here we are again. Let's see what the next animal is going to be. Yes, it's the otter. I was hoping it was going to be the otter. The otter is so cute. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Okay, so we gotta find our otter. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's the one right after Angie the Anglerfish that we just did. Perry the Otter by Irene Strange. Isn't that adorable? It totally reminds me of Animal Crossing. So I cannot wait. Oh, that's gonna be so cute. Let's flip over to the table of contents to put our sticker next to it. Alrighty, it was right by Angie the Anglerfish and Perry the Otter. I love it. I am so happy. Here we go. Alright guys, I'm going to start on this right away. I cannot wait. Thanks for watching. Bye.